Section 1.3, Estimating Limit Values from Graphs. Alrighty, the figure below shows the graph of the function f. Which of the following statements are true? So of these 15 statements, which are true? Here is a really creepy function f. It's not one you're going to be able to graph regularly. It's called a piecewise. It's made up of a whole bunch of different graphs kind of pieced together. But we're going to talk about this weird graph of f. So, first of all, the limit of f of x as x approaches -2, does it equal 0? So look at -2 here. Are we approaching from both sides, are we approaching 0? From both sides, well, we kind of are approaching, but isn't it approaching farther and farther and farther down, way down here? So aren't we approaching basically like negative infinity from both sides? So we aren't approaching 0. Looks like we're approaching 0, but we're actually approaching farther and farther below 0. So is this one true? This would be a no. It is false. Okay, next. Okay, from -2 of f of x, are we approaching negative infinity? So, yeah, we are. Aren't we from both sides, aren't we approaching negative infinity? So wouldn't that be a good description? So yes, that one would be a correct statement. Next. Okay, I'm going to go for -2 from the positive side. Is that also negative infinity? So as you come from the positive side, are we still approaching negative infinity? Why, yes, we are. So from the positive, we are. Also from the negative side, but we're not asking that particular question. So that is also true. Next, what is the limit of f of x as x approaches 1? So as we approach 1, are we approaching 2? Well, no. From the right side, we're approaching 2. From the left side, we're approaching 4. Both are not approaching the same spot, so there actually is no limit there. So that one is a no. All right, that one is actually does not exist. That's what it should be, which will pop up later. Okay, here. So we approach 1. If f of x is at 4. No, we said that, just said that. That, yes, it's approaching 4 from this side, but this side's 2. So no, again, it does not exist. So that also is a big no. And as we said earlier, it's equal to does not exist. We talked about that earlier. So that is the true statement because both sides are approaching different spots. So let's look at this. So what is the limit of f of x as you come from the positive side? So if you come from the positive side, are you approaching 2? Why, yes, you are. Thank you. We are approaching 2. Oops, I went through it there. Let's do that again. There we go. Next, this one. From the negative side, are we also approaching 2? No. From the negative side, are we approaching 4? That is a no. It should be -4 is your answer. That's what it should equal. So it does not equal 2. All right, so what we could have done for all these is could we have crossed this out and say no, it does not equal those. That would be a good way to say no as well, to say it does not equal that. Next, all right, it's the limit of f of x as x approaches 3, so we're going to be approaching 3 here, is at 1. So as you come from this side and from this side, are we approaching 1? No, 1 is the value. That's f of 3 is 1. But that one's probably trying to say, yeah, f of 3 equals 1. But that's what I'm asking for. It's what we're approaching. What are we approaching at 3? Well, so that's not true. This is a no. What are we approaching? Well, we're approaching 3. Shouldn't it be 3? Because aren't we approaching 3 from both sides, that open circle there? So isn't this the true statement? Isn't this the one we are looking for? Yes. So let's look at this. From the positive side, what are we approaching? So from the positive side is this side. What are we approaching? Are we approaching from the positive side? We are not approaching 1. We are approaching, what are we approaching? We're approaching 3. That should be 3. So this one right here is a no. All right, let's look at this. So, okay, from 3, it does not exist. No, the value does not, the value is down here, but we're still approaching from both sides the same thing, so it's not a does not exist. That is no, that is not true. All right, what about this? Okay, is it 1? Is the limit coming from both sides equal to 1? No, the value is 1. Remember up here? The value is 1, not the limit. So the limit, remember we said, is 3. So that one, again, is not true. All right, now, what's the limit of f of x as x approaches 2? So 2 here. As we approach 2, when we come from this side and come from this side, it's like 2 point something. It's not 1. No. Yeah, it's 2 point something. So we know that's not true. This is a no. Let's go to the next one. Okay, negative 1. What are we approaching? F of x approach negative 1. So negative 1, we're approaching this spot, which is like 2.2 or 2-ish. Well, since the graph's not perfect, that's a good question. Let's assume if my graph was perfect, it looks like we're approaching 2. I know it's a teeny bit above, but let's assume that is a 2. Let's assume that line went through 2. So let's say yes. Now, if we're being very accurate, we zoomed in, and you can't tell I kind of messed up on my graph. It's a little bit above, but we're going to assume that is a true statement because we're approaching 2 from both sides. A lot of problems here, a lot of things to think about. Hopefully it helps you understand limits better.